Whether you're easing into your mornings or you rush to get outside the door and get things done, I want you to have an easy breakfast choice that helps you nourish your body, reduce inflammation, so your energy is steady throughout the day. All of the 4 recipes I'm showing you today that will give you a perfect start into the morning are gluten-free and made with whole foods. Let's get into it and start with our first recipe. These gluten-free marble breakfast squares taste like cake, but they're full of fiber, healthy fats, and natural sweetness that keep your blood sugar steady. They're not overly sweet, which I love, and they feel nourishing without being heavy.
It might surprise you, but zucchini is one of my favorite secret ingredients for a soft and satisfying texture in baked goods. When you peel and grate it finely, then squeeze out the extra moisture, it blends in seamlessly, but never guess it's there, but your gut will thank you for the extra fiber. We'll start blending all our wet ingredients in a high-speed blender now. We're adding 2 ripe bananas, a 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. The bananas and applesauce not just bring the natural sweetness, but also bind everything together. In a separate bowl, we mix all our dry ingredients: 3/4 cups of almond flour, 2 cups of oat flour, 2 tablespoons of flaxseed meal, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a pinch of salt. Now pour the wet mixture into the dry and stir gently until you get a smooth, thick batter. Then comes the fun part: divide the batter into 2 bowls. To 1/2, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of raw cacao powder because we wanna have a chocolate and a vanilla flavor. Give it a quick taste test because that's half the fun. And then scoop the batter into a baking dish, alternating between the 2. I like to use the ice cream scoop that helps to create that marble effect. Bake at 350 for around 30 minutes or until the toothpick comes out clean, and then let cool completely before cutting into squares and storing in the fridge so you can enjoy it for the days to come as a quick, healthy breakfast.
The next one isn't a meal technically, but it comes so handy having this ready in your fridge.
I'm talking about my coconut hemp creamer, which is free from additives and everything you don't want in your nut milk. Pour in a cup of full-fat coconut milk to a blender, add dates for natural sweetness and some hemp seed. The hemp seeds not just bring protein but also omega-3s, which help reduce inflammation. Blend with water and store in an airtight container for the days to come so you have it ready for your morning drink. A golden milk brings so much anti-inflammatory properties from the turmeric, so this is a great drink to have if you want to reduce inflammation. You can add your creamer, have it on ice or hot.
Tofu Scramble is such a classic, but the reason I love it is because it's so much more than just breakfast. It's warm, it's comforting, it's filling, and every bite is quietly doing your body a little bit of good. Before we start to make the actual scramble, we start with a little bit of a side dish.
Oven roasted potatoes are my favorite side dish for a scramble because it keeps it gluten-free and it's so easy to make. Also, potatoes contain resistant starch once you heat them up and cool them down, so this makes it perfect for meal prep. And resistant starch actually feeds the good bacteria in our gut, which makes potatoes prebiotic and helps reduce inflammation in your body. Season lightly, add some oil and air fry for around 20 minutes.
Onion and garlic actually also have prebiotic properties and help feed the good bacteria in your gut. And I feel like they give so much amazing flavor to all the dishes. So we are finally chopping them and also adding them to this tofu scramble. But before we add the scramble, we're gonna saute them until they are translucent. And we're also gonna add some chopped zucchini and bell pepper for more color and plant diversity.
Getting your greens in the morning straight away feels like always having a head start on your nutrition, so I always like to add some greens like a kale to my tofu scramble. I'm adding it last before I add the scramble and after I roasted the veggies.
I use a medium firm block of tofu. You can also use silken tofu. I'll also get a medium-sized bowl, and then we take our tofu and crumble them in our hands. So the medium softness of the tofu makes it super easy to make our crumbles. You can also use a fork, but this is done super quickly, and it's actually not necessary to drain the tofu or to press it because the moisture is what gets it creamy as well.
For our tofu scramble, we're keeping it simple with the seasoning because we're adding a special ingredient a little bit later in the cooking process. We're adding salt, pepper, garlic powder, nutritional yeast, and a quarter of a teaspoon of turmeric powder for the anti-inflammatory properties and also for the color. Now, once you've roasted your veggies, add your garlic and your kale and stir well. Now we're adding the tofu scramble and we're making our secret sauce that will make our tofu scramble creamy and delicious. To a blender, add a quarter cup of cashews, a cup of water, nutritional yeast, and salt. Blend until smooth and add half of the liquid to your tofu scramble and stir until the liquid evaporates because the cashews are getting really creamy and thicken, so this will give a great texture. Now all you need to do is serve your tofu scramble with your baked potatoes, and you can also put it into a burrito and make a delicious breakfast burrito, which is my favorite way to meal prep and to have my tofu scramble lately.
Some mornings you just want something easy, something you can make the night before, so it's ready and waiting for you once you wake up.
Chia pudding has been my go-to for the past 8 years whenever I want a quick and healthy breakfast that is good for my digestion and helps reduce inflammation. And a perfect ratio for chia pudding to get a good consistency is 1 cup of your favorite plant milk and a quarter cup of chia seeds. You stir it in really well and give it a shake. You can also add some vanilla and maple syrup to sweeten and give it some flavor. Then after 1 hour, you should really stir it again to avoid clumping, and then the next day you can enjoy it with some probiotic coconut yogurt, which I like to stir in to get an even creamier texture, and then your favorite seasonal fruit. I also love to add some kind of nut butter for protein and for richness and healthy fats. I used a peanut butter here, and then some homemade granola for some crunch and extra fiber. It's super simple, delicious, and helps reduce inflammation.
If you have enjoyed this video, I would love to hear from you in the comments which breakfasts are your go-to every week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.